If you've been scrolling through endless launch monitor options, watching video after video, and still feel that uneasy knot in your stomach because you can't tell which system actually translates to better scores on the course, this review is here to cut through the noise. I've spent the last few weeks setting up the Foresight Sports GC3S bundle in my garage, on the driving range, and even on a backyard net, then comparing notes with a few fellow golfers who own other monitors. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What you'll hear in the next few minutes is what really matters once the box is opened: how the cameras line up with your swing, what the data actually tells you during a round, and whether the subscription that comes with it is worth the monthly fee. First off, let's talk about the core of any launch monitor: data accuracy and ease of capture. The GC3S uses 3 high-speed cameras positioned around the impact zone. In practice, that means you don't have to worry about precise placement of a single sensor or a long mat that forces you to swing in a confined space. I set the unit on a portable tripod, walked it a few feet left and right, and the cameras still locked onto the ball the moment it left the club face. The data that popped up on the tablet showed club head speed, smash factor, launch angle, and spin, all within the same instant you'd see on a professional simulator. For a golfer who practices on a limited net or a small indoor space, that flexibility is a genuine advantage. You can literally move the whole bundle from the garage to the patio without a recalibration nightmare. Now, the rangefinder part of this bundle isn't a laser device you point at a flag. Instead, the cameras calculate the ball's flight path and tell you the distance it traveled. That's useful when you're hitting on a practice green and want to know how far you actually rolled after a chip. In one of my test runs, I set up a 30-yard target and hit 3 different wedges. The GC3S reported distances of 27, 31, and 29 yards, which matched the tape measure readings within a couple of feet. It's not the same as a traditional handheld rangefinder, but for the purpose of practice sessions, the built-in distance readout saves you the extra step of pulling out another gadget. The bundle also throws in a year of Foresight's Gold subscription. That's where the course management insights really start to shine. When you load a course map, which the app supports for most major courses in the US and Europe, the monitor overlays your shot data onto the virtual layout. So after a round of simulated play, you can see that you're consistently missing the green on the right side of the 7th hole, or that your driver's spin rate is higher than the optimal range for that fairway. For a golfer who likes to dissect every round, the visual feedback is more than a pretty graph. It becomes a concrete plan for the next practice session. Who should buy this? If you're a mid-handicap golfer, around 10-20, who already spends time on a launch monitor or is serious about shaving strokes, the GC3S offers a level of detail that most entry-level devices simply can't match. The 3-camera system means you can set it up on a modest net and still get reliable ball flight data, which is a big deal if you live in an apartment or don't have a full-size indoor studio. The subscription also pays for itself if you're the type who reviews every shot and adjusts club selection based on data. On the flip side, a high-handicap weekend player who only hits a few balls a month might find the price steep, especially since the unit's value really comes from the frequency of use and the willingness to dig into the analytics. A couple of practical trade-offs surfaced during my testing. The first is power and portability. The GC3S runs off a standard AC outlet, and while the unit itself is lightweight enough to carry in a duffel, you do need a power source nearby. That means you can't just toss it onto a remote practice field without a generator or a long extension cord. For most backyard or garage setups, that's not a problem, but if you're chasing a totally cordless experience, you'll need to plan ahead. The second hidden cost is the reliance on the tablet app. The software is slick, but it does require a relatively recent iPad or Android tablet to run smoothly. Older devices lag a bit when loading full course maps. If you're thinking of using a cheap old tablet you already have, you might end up needing an upgrade to get the full experience. Another point worth mentioning is the learning curve for interpreting the data. The GC3S throws a lot of numbers at you: spin axis, attack angle, dynamic loft, and while the app does a decent job of breaking those into beginner-friendly categories, you still need to spend some time understanding what each metric means for your swing. I found